In this video, we'll see how to install JDK, the Java Development Kit, on Ubuntu 22.04, and we'll also see how to get started with Java development on Ubuntu. The first thing that we're going to do is check if Java is already installed on our computer. To do that, let's open the terminal and let's check which version of Java is currently installed, which can be done with java --version. And we can see that currently we don't have any version because Java isn't installed yet. Now, it should be noticed that when we say Java, it can mean two different things. The first thing is the Java runtime environment, which will only allow us to run Java applications. The other thing is the Java Development Kit, which allows us to develop Java applications. And that's the one we want right now. Now, there are basically two options for JDK: OpenJDK and the Oracle JDK. They have different licenses, but since version 17, the Oracle JDK is completely free to use, so that's what we're going to install. If we take a look at the Oracle website, we can see it right here. Oracle JDK 17 and later is available under the Oracle No-Fee Terms and Conditions license, which permits free use for all users. So in the past, they used some other license which did cost money, but this one doesn't. So let's go ahead and install it. Let's open Google and look for the JDK download. And the first link should be the right one. Now, as you can see, two versions are available right now, Java 18 and Java 17. The difference is that Java 17 is a long-term support version, which means that it will be supported for several years. Java 18, on the other hand, will only be supported for a few short months. So for most people, Java 17 is probably the better option, and that's what I'll go with. So let's scroll down a bit, and here I'm going to choose Java 17. And as we can see, there are downloads for Linux, macOS, and Windows, but since I'm on Ubuntu, I'll stick with Linux. Now, as you can see, there are several options, but unless you're on Raspberry Pi or something like that, you probably don't want the ARM version, but the x64 version, and that's what I'm going to download. And for Ubuntu, we're going to choose the Debian package, so this link. And it's been downloaded. Great, it was downloaded. Let's get back to the terminal. And let's change the directory to the downloads folder. And if we list the files, we can see the JDK Debian package we just downloaded. To install it, I'm going to use apt install. I tried to use the package before and it caused all kinds of problems, so apt install is probably the better option for this installation. And it's been downloaded and installed. Great, it was installed. Let's change to the installation folder. It's a bit tricky to find, but it can be found under user lib. And here we're going to have a new JVM folder. And here the folder that we're actually going to use is the bin folder. So let's change into it. And here are all of the files that are actually necessary to build and run Java applications. So what I'm going to do is add this folder to the system's path. To do that, let's open a new terminal tab. And now I'm going to edit the environment file, which is in the etc folder. And we only have the path variable over here, and we're going to append this new folder to the path. So I'll click on end to get to the end of the line, and I'll append a colon to add a new folder. And now from the first tab, I'm going to copy the Java path. And let's append it to the path. Let's save the file with Ctrl+S and exit with Ctrl+X. For the new path to take effect, we can either use the source command or we can just restart the computer, which is what I'm going to do. Great, it was restarted. Let's open the terminal again. And if we run java --version now, we can see that we actually have Java 17, which is what we downloaded. To make sure that everything actually works, let's create a new Workspace folder for our Java programs. Let's now open gedit. And I'm going to paste in a little hello world program. And let's save this file to our Workspace folder. And I'll name it hello world.java. Let's close gedit. And here we have our new file. Let's now try to compile it with a Java development kit. To do that, I'm going to use the javac command. And it was compiled, and we can see the output file, hello world.class. To actually run the program, I'm going to run java and then the name of the class file. And here we have it, hello world. So now that Java is installed, we can easily use it with Visual Studio Code. So let's go ahead, download it and install it. And it was installed. Let's open Visual Studio Code. And I'll open the Workspace folder. And now, as soon as I'll open the Java file, Visual Studio Code recommends to install the extension for it. So let's go ahead and install it. And it's been installed. Great. Let's get back to our Java file. And let's try to run it right from Visual Studio Code. And here we see the output, hello world. We can also easily debug the program. So let's add a few more lines. And let's say that I want to add a breakpoint just before the calculation of z. So let's add a breakpoint. And let's now debug the program, which can be found in the Run menu. And the program stopped at our breakpoint, and we can see the values of all of the variables. Once we're done looking around, we can continue the program. And it was finished, and here we can see the output.